So after the Orlando 2 race, the first race for 250 West, I talked about how terrible of a start it was for the series. Well, I said how now that 3 guys are out of the championship for the rest of the season, which 2 of them ended up not, they're still racing. Alex Martin and Jordan Smith, they're both racing still. But at the time, I didn't think they were, and I said that a bunch of other riders are going to have to step it up because Justin Cooper is going to run away with it. Well, after the last couple rounds, I think we've seen that there's definitely some riders that are stepping it up this year, and this is not going to be such an easy championship for Justin Cooper. I mean, he's not even leading the points right now. That rider is Cameron McAdoo, and he is the first rider that has stepped it up more than I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to be pretty good this year, but I didn't think he was going to be this good. He, in my opinion, is definitely the top guy at Pro Circuit right now, at least for this coast. I thought it would have been Jordan Smith, but he's showing that he can't keep it together. Jordan Smith is not the top guy at Pro Circuit for this coast. That belongs to Cameron McAdoo. It's really cool seeing Cameron where he is right now because of the history that he's had in this sport, not getting rides, being kind of a fill-in rider, and having a lot of injuries. It's really cool to see him like this, being a race winner, a championship contender. I think he deserves it. I think he definitely deserves it. And he's really stepped it up. I mean, he murked everybody at Daytona. He showed a ton of speed at Arlington 1. I thought he would have been able to catch those top 2 guys, but that's kind of a testament to those top 2 guys. Not so much that McAdoo wasn't going fast enough, it's that Hammaker and Lawrence were going a lot faster than I think everybody thought. So Cameron McAdoo is definitely the first rider that has stepped it up this year. Like I said, he killed everybody at Daytona, and he's shown a ton of speed, and he's been fairly consistent so far. But number 2 is Hunter Lawrence. He got second place. At this point in the season, I didn't think that he would be a podium threat quite yet. I figured he would be challenging for podiums towards the end of the year. He came into this season with only 2 Supercross races under his belt. It was the last 2 Supercrosses at Salt Lake last year. And because of that, he kind of is almost like a rookie. It's like a half rookie. That he's still getting his feet wet, still figuring out this Supercross stuff. He looks really good. He looked really good at Daytona, and he looked really good at Arlington 1 this weekend. Like I've said before, I think he has a lot of potential to be insanely good, just like his younger brother. They ride pretty much identical. They both have ridiculous technique, ridiculous style, and they have a lot of speed and a lot of potential, and I think now Hunter is showing that. He's showing that he can be just as good as his younger brother, because Jet is really showing this year that he is a force to be reckoned with because he's unreal. And now Hunter is on his path, starting his path to being like that as well. Hunter has definitely stepped it up. So we got Cameron McAdoo and Hunter Lawrence, 2 dudes that have stepped it up. And then number 3, we got Seth Hammaker. For me, Seth came out of nowhere. I've done a really bad job recently at seeing who these guys are coming up through the ranks in amateurs right now. And Seth Hammaker was definitely somebody that I didn't know anything about. So I'm at the point right now where these kids were very young when I was getting onto a big bike, and then I even stayed on a big bike for a while before I got my pro license, so I was able to kind of see who the top amateurs were for a while, even after the kids my age went pro. I went pro quite a bit older than they did, so I was still kind of in that amateur scene. But now, I don't know anybody. I shouldn't say that. I do know like the top kids, but Seth Hammaker, I didn't know. I had no clue who he was coming into this season. And I've done a little bit of research, and they've said it on the broadcast that he's actually had a delayed pro debut, which is pretty interesting. He's actually 20 years old, which is a little bit older than you would think somebody at his level would turn pro at. He's had problems with injuries. He had work on his shoulders, and then he had Epstein-Barr, which put him out, I think, for all of last year, which that's no joke. That's nothing to mess with. So that's why he's had a bit of a delayed pro debut. But, man, is that kid gnarly. To get the whole shot and lead the entire main when you have guys like Hunter Lawrence, Cameron McAdoo, Justin Cooper, even Jordan Smith before he fell, trying to pass you, and you stay calm and composed and win your third ever professional Supercross race. That is super, super impressive. And I can't wait to see what Seth does in the future because he seems like the real deal. That was super, super impressive to me. So we've got Cameron McAdoo, Hunter Lawrence, and Seth Hammaker, all three stepping up. And even somebody like Garrett Marchbanks has stepped up, although not quite as much as those other three. He got 5th in the main. He started in 10th place right behind Justin Cooper. Justin Cooper got 4th. Garrett got 5th. So they made their way through the pack together. However, the gap between Cooper and Marchbanks at the end of the race was pretty big. So I don't think he has quite the potential to fight for this championship with Justin Cooper. I don't think Hammaker or Lawrence really do either, but they have the potential to put a wrench in some things because they have the speed to mess with these guys for the championship. And what's interesting is that Hammaker, Lawrence, and McAdoo all had a faster lap time than Justin Cooper did. However, at the end of the main is when they kind of suffer compared to Cooper. So everybody put in their fastest lap time around 10th lap, like 9th or 10th lap, and it was all 45s. They all did a 45 point something. However, on lap 17 and 18, Justin Cooper was able to do lap times that were also in the 45 seconds when everybody else was 46, high 46, or even 47s. So that end of the main speed is where Justin Cooper is going to have a big advantage compared to everybody else. He was flying at the end of the main. He was really catching the top three quickly. And if he gets a good start, that's where it's going to be pretty much impossible to beat him because he's going to be faster at the end of the main. But he's not been getting good starts. Those three guys have all, on average, gotten better starts than him. Cameron McAdoo's average start, 6.3, Hunter Lawrence, 5.3, Seth Hammaker, 4.3, and Justin Cooper is 8.3. So they're all three, on average, getting better starts than him. And that's where things could get real interesting as the season progresses, is if they keep getting good starts and he keeps getting bad starts, that is what will make the championship interesting, because I do think if Cooper figures out his starts, he's going to be really hard to beat. Really hard. I still think that. I still think this is by far his championship to lose, but it's all about starts. So right now he's 6 points down from Cameron McAdoo. Cameron has 70 points. Justin has 64 points. So this championship, it could go anywhere from here on out. It can go anywhere.